Hello and welcome to Million Labs. Today we thought we'd ask Simon about best practices for naming elements in your property editor. Simon, when it comes to naming things in Bubble, do you have any recommendations?
So as you drag and drop boxes or elements onto the page, Bubble will automatically name them for you. And they will call them text followed by a letter. And if you type something into it, you'll see that it's changed it to text hello world. Now, why does that matter and why is that important? Because if you just let Bubble do the naming, button A and button B, when I cut and paste it, is your whole app will be full of everything that's button A, button B, text box A, text box B, text box C, input A, etc. And when we get into workflows, you'll realize that's a really bad thing to do, because you'll be like, which input was their first name? Was it input A? Was it input B? Or was it input C? I have no clue. And then you end up having to go back and check and test and all the rest of it. So it kind of ends up wasting your time. So the good discipline to get into is to, as soon as you add an element to the page, is click into its name at the top here of the property editor and then change it. And you can change it to whatever you like, and you can come up with your own sort of naming scheme, a button submit form. And then this will be known as button submit form from now on, irrespective of what's in here, in the text, etc. This will always be button submit form. So that will help me find it when I'm trying to do a workflow. When I click on it and you want it to do something, I know which button it is that's doing something. So my high recommendation is, one, change all the elements as you put them on to name them. And secondly is leave the element description, i.e. button or text, in it. Because what you will realize, or you'll begin to realize, is you can make every single element look like another type of element. So if I take this button and I take this text box above and I remove the style off my text box and I now change its color to be blue. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do background style, flat color blue. Blue. I want to change this to be white. I'm going to put the word update in here. I'm going to put it in the middle and I'm going to centrally align it. I'm going to make it bold. Probably not quite. And then I'm going to round the corners. And that's something like 5. It's getting there, isn't it? It's almost identical. So the problem is, visually, you can make everything look like everything else. So if you remove from the name of it the word text, and I just call this update, I kind of look at it and go, well, what is this? Is this a text box? Is it? And that matters when you come to workflows and things like that, because you can't take an input from a text box. You can't make a text box do certain things, but you can make an input do things, or buttons do certain things. So it's really worth leaving the word text in there so that actually you can quickly, if you can't visually see what type of element it is, you can actually open the property editor and see what type of element it is. Now, you might better work it out from some of this stuff because this is unique to it, but this is just quicker and easier. So I always leave the text in there. You can come up with your own kind of naming scheme you want to use, but try and keep something in there that tells you what type of element it is there and change it from the default Bubble gives you.
Thanks for the tips, Simon. Now you better understand how to name your elements in the property editor. Congrats!